You could do all of this in a classic all banking is a swap of IOUs, okay? But it takes up balance sheet space. And if your regulators are saying, well, for the size of your balance sheet, you need to hold capital, you need to hold reserves or something like that, you don't want to do this in a literal on-balance sheet swap of IOUs way, okay? So you can do it in an off-balance sheet way. And Stigam talks about the evolution. The first iteration of this was something called a forward-forward, okay? Where the banks basically just promised to make, this bank made a promise to make a deposit in Bank X at rate F 2 months from now. Okay, that's a forward-forward. Okay. The next step is the forward rate agreement, which is exactly what I told you, which is where the banks agree to exchange the difference between LIBOR and F%. Okay. In a forward rate agreement, Bank Y does not promise to make a deposit. It just says, okay, you, Bank X, go ahead and you fund that 3-month loan at 3-month LIBOR. Okay. And then we will act as if, okay, there's a 3-month deposit that pays F minus LIBOR between you and me, F minus LIBOR. And similarly here, Bank Y has that deposit, F minus LIBOR, here. So you can see that the forward rate agreement allows Bank X to say, I've locked in that rate of interest, okay? Because I'm promising to pay Bank Y the difference here. And so if I fund myself at LIBOR, I don't have to care. If LIBOR goes up, okay, if LIBOR goes very, very far up, okay, then this is a negative number, Bank Y pays me, okay? And if LIBOR goes down, okay, then I pay Bank Y. So the forward rate agreement implements exactly what this swap of IOUs would do. It locks in funding, okay, for a future point. But it does so in a way that doesn't take up any balance sheet space, okay? It's an off-balance sheet. It looks like a side bet on LIBOR. If LIBOR is greater than F, you pay me. If LIBOR is less than F, I pay you. It's a side bet on LIBOR. But it's used to line up payments in time, and it's used to substitute for this unwieldy on-balance sheet swap of IOUs. Okay. As far as all of the derivatives that we're going to deal with in this course, that includes interest rate swaps, that includes foreign exchange swaps, that includes credit default swaps, they all can be viewed as implicit, behind the scenes, swap of IOUs of one kind or another. Okay, so they are completely integrated into this balance sheet structure that we're having. And that's how we will understand them. And we'll understand their cash flows and so forth. This is the first one you're seeing, the first one of these examples. But you're going to see this kind of analysis again and again, where we're taking something that looks like, it's a derivative, it's a side bet, it's something like that. And we're saying, well, how would you structure this? How could you structure a bet using a swap of IOUs, just on a bank balance sheet, that would give exactly the same payoff as this thing, okay? And once you do, then you can figure out, well, maybe that's what people are using it for. Maybe that gives us some insight into what this instrument is for. They're trying to do something to their balance sheet, okay? And it's not really off balance sheet. There's an implicit on balance sheet aspect of it that's behind the scenes.